And another beard. Ah, beards!
That's beards.
Beards. This was
Well,
done.
that pixelation.
Yeah. This was done with crepe wool and cankalon. This is made out of that. And then stuck on with Prozaid. That's Kelly. And
That's
this
just my face.
was also stuck on with Prozaid. So Prozaid is pretty good. I mean, look at that!
It's amazing.
But look at the dog as well! More importantly, the dog!
The dog.
Yeah, insane.
And that's foldable.
Oh, again, yeah. Oh.
Look at the unimpressed lady.
It's Richard Armitage.
And that's me.
Prozated on though.
Yeah.
Prozated on. Yeah.
You talked about blanking out your lips as well.
Oh yeah. Oh. Oh yeah. Damn. Thank God. Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah. Matt, when you finish everything, probably the single most important thing that will just transform you is to match your lip tone to your skin tone. So if you're going for pale, match it to pale. If you've got a dark skin, match it to darker. Just get rid of your lip colour, basically. Do not have pink or red lips. It was really scary the other day in the bathroom when I stood next to Sasha, because I was in this and then I really rubbed my lips to get all of the makeup off. And it was like bright pink, really natural pink. And I suddenly looked like Lady Loki. It was so weird. And then you pale it out, or you match it to your skin tone, and boom, it transforms, because it takes all the attention away from here again and focuses it back on here again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've done that with gender gun before, but it always comes off. Is there a way to like at least keep it a little longer?
One of the things, and I learned this from a drag queen on YouTube actually. They said one of the best things you can do is scrub your lips down first, either with a Q-tip or like a toothbrush to get all the dead skin off. So like you've got really fresh, and you will look like you've just been stung by a bee, because your lips will look so raw for a second. Let them calm down. Cover them in a really good moisturising lip balm. I use Nivea cocoa butter, which is so nice, really hydrating one. And then so once you've got that, let it properly dry. Put on your whichever concealer you've got to match it on. Let it dry again, and then you can get a thing called lip coat as well. Lip coat spelled C-O-T-E. Lip coat helps. Some people say it stings. Some people have bad experience with it.
It's because it's got alcohol in it.
Because it's got alcohol in it. But sit there and you have to sit there like with that for about 10 minutes, let it dry. And apart from that, with your spirit gum or glue, keep the colour on you. You may have seen Kelly and I all weekend just constantly getting a mirror out and going like that. Because, and also, obviously again, as Kelly said, always make sure it's not glimmer or shimmer or anything like that. I managed to find this. It's an actual lipstick, but it's a matte one. This is Circe by NYX. And this is a pretty good one. And I know that the NYX range, because I went through them, they have all the way from really, really porcelain skin to darker skin, and they have every single shade to match your lips to just give, and it's their natural range basically. And it's non-shimmer, it's matte. Yeah, NYX. NYX, I don't know what it's called, but yeah, NYX.
Some nude.
Yeah, nude.
That's NYX, isn't it?
NYX,
yeah.
NYX. And this is the Circe colour that I use for my sort of skin.
And if you fancy splashing out the MAC range of makeup, MAC is the best makeup you can ever get for theatre stuff anyway. Their matte range is phenomenal. So if it's something you're going to be using a lot of, especially if you're going to wear it every day anyway, it's worth splashing out. I think there's something like $22.50 or something for a lipstick. So if you're going to be using it a lot, those are really, really good.
For the Pro-Aid, right?
Prozaid.
Prozaid, sorry. Is it okay to use with synthetic wigs in hair? Because
Yeah.
I know sometimes the human hair does get really expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
this
can use
is
it with
this is a completely synthetic wig.
And do you just put it on the edges of the...
Yeah, so I've been salad today, and you lift up the rim, put it on there, put it where you're going to attach it to the forehead, let it dry for a couple of seconds, and then literally just...
You're meant to let it
Hold
dry
it.
till they clear.
Yeah.
You can sort of blast it with a hairdryer on cool and it will help. Put it on your prosthetic or whatever first because it dries faster on your skin than it does on your wigs or your prosthetics. So if you put it on the prosthetic first, it gives it more time to dry. And then once they're sort of tacky and touch dry, you press them together and then they bond to each other. Yeah. You okay there, friend?
Yeah.
What you doing?
Nothing.
Doing there, friend?
Nothing, friend. Go. Yep. Yes.
What was that thing that you said to put on your lips that kind of sting because of the alcohol?
Lip coat. So lip and then COTE.
It's a lipstick sealer. There's probably other ones, but that's the one we use.
That's the one. And if you're ever in doubt, YouTube. YouTube is great. There's, and oddly, a lot of drag queens and a lot of drag kings, they have phenomenal makeup. They know the secrets of the universe. And they are willing to share it with you, like a secret society has finally come to light. And yeah, they've got a load of good videos on YouTube. And if you're ever unsure about products, just YouTube it. That's what I always do to find products which are good. Lip coat, I went on YouTube, I put lip coat review to see what people genuinely thought about it. Because if you go on the website, they're always going to say, yeah, it's really good, buy our stuff. But if you go on YouTube, you're going to get the genuine opinions. Yeah.
What brush or sponge do you use for blending the contour?
Oh, that's it. Oh, I don't have it with me.
Don't lie, you use your fingers.
No, I don't anymore. Ooh. I've learned.
I sit watching you do it.
They are the weirdest shaped things in the world.
You use the egg foundation brushes, don't you?
The
They're
egg-
on a stick.
Yeah, like the
I have
egg
one.
Oh,
things,
yeah.
and they've also got a slanted side as well. So it does blushing, highlight, everything. And these sponge things are incredible. And again, it was just a YouTube recommendation. Yeah, they're sort of foam eggs, I think.
Yeah, they're latex sponges. It's shaped like a sort of egg teardrop with a slice taken out of it.
Yeah.
And then on a stick.
Yeah.
You see, they sell them in Claire's, but back home our pound stores sell them. So I don't know, maybe your dollar stores sell them as well. They're super, super cheap.
Oh, mine was a tenner.
Poundland sells them, Jack. Poundland. You could have gotten 10 of them.
But no, this one's brilliant. So yeah, it's like an egg teardrop with a slanted bit. Sponge.
So pro.
Latex sponge, yeah. But most makeup shops do it because it's recommended in general for ladies' makeup and whatnot. So if you go into just any cosmetic store, they'll generally have them.
Just make sure you're not allergic to latex, because a lot of these sponges do contain it.
Nathan.
So what would you suggest for a cosplay that has a lot of body paint, like trying to do the animal or something or other?
What was the question?
Body paint.
Sorry, I assumed it was for you, so I just kind of phased out. Depends what you're doing. I'll cover it in more detail, but grease paint is usually the thing that people go for most. It's not always the cheapest stuff, but it's the stuff that stays on the best. And because it's got oil in it, unlike Snazzaroo, which once you have it on, that's your colour, you're done. This stuff you can blend while it's still on your skin, so if it doesn't look right, you just mix the colours in.
Loki's got a bruise.
Here goes Jack. The only downside to using this stuff is that it doesn't dry because it's oil. You're putting oil and paint on your skin, so you have to powder over it. So some people find that it does come off a little bit in the day, but it's easy to either smear
looks
it
really
back
good
in so
though.
it doesn't look so bad, or reapply it. So that's probably the best stuff to use. And it also works really well on, I'm guessing you're going for horn prosthetics as well. That stuff works best on prosthetics. Another paint that's really good for it. Okay, yep. Yeah, you're doing it.
Yep, I'm fine.
Another paint that's good for stuff like that is Pax, which is 50% Prozaid and 50% acrylic paint. So you can mix it in any colour you want. Pax is sold in shops. Don't ever buy it pre-made. It's not worth the money when you can make your own for next to nothing. Because it's an adhesive, it stays on really well, probably too well at times. You do need remover to get it off. When we're doing my Asari stuff, because Jeff pretty much paints me every time I do that, we use it just for the areas where skin meets prosthetic, and then we mix Snazzaroo and stuff to blend in with that, because the last thing you want is adhesive all over your face. It's not pleasant. So those are probably the best. What did you want? Hey,
Oh.
that's our faces. That's me and Tina. So yeah, thanks. But I'll talk about those more as well when I do my thing. You okay?
Yeah.
You still have I'll do it. Yes.
Oh, there's my mustache.
You also want like a water-based one that you don't really have to powder because it stays pretty well for everything. But it's called like Aquacolor.
Aquacolor by Ben Nye. That one.
I don't think it's by Ben Nye.
Like
it's
Krylon, maybe.
Aquacolor.
The only downside to anything that's water-based is that it activates with water, which means if you sweat, which, no offense guys, but you're in Florida, it can reactivate the paint. So that's the only reason we try to avoid those when we're in hot countries. But yeah,
You want that it dries easy. I sweated it and it has
it all depends on your skin as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we always use Stargazer pens, which are tattoo pens. I swear by them. They stay on my skin, they don't come off. I'm a LARPer, so having fake tattoos is a thing. Some people put them on and within 10 minutes they come off. So it all depends. You have to experiment. If you've got friends who do it as well, swap stuff and actually try different things, because what works for you may not work for someone else. You might find your skin's too oily for a certain paint, that you sweat too heavily for it. There's a million things that can change how these things work on your skin. And patch testing is really important, because there's a lot of stuff, especially if you're importing stuff in from overseas, you don't know what's going in it. Always make sure to test things, especially if you have sensitive skin. You good?
Yeah.
Go for it. Still, your bit.
I have a question that's kind of specific about wigs. I have Tourette's, so I often shake my head pretty violently at times, and I have a really bad problem with wigs slipping. And plus, I sweat pretty heavily on my head. I tried wig tape, and it doesn't seem to work very well after I start sweating. Do you have any suggestions?
Just in general for keeping the wigs on in
Yeah.
the day. Wig caps would probably be the best idea.
Wig caps and lots of pins. We have
Yeah.
been
Yeah,
on
bobby
roller
pins.
coasters wearing wigs, and they don't come off if you have wig caps and lots of pins.
One thing to do with your
Would you pin the wig, like through the wig to the cap?
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
All
Yeah.
around the
Straight
edges,
on,
through
yeah.
the cap.
and if you cross your bobby pins as well, then they lock together, so you won't have one slipping out somewhere. Yeah.
Usually the wig caps that come with wigs, the free ones, are usually those horrible nylon ones that are like pantyhose.
The black ones.
Don't bother
yeah.
wearing those, they're a complete waste of time. Always get the ones that are like fishnets. And preferably ones that aren't a complete cap, ones that have a hole cut in the top, because then you pull them up down to
Yeah.
your neck and slide it back up and it catches all the hairs on the way up. But that also adds friction, because your hair's usually relatively slippery. So the wig cap adds extra friction to keep the wig
I
on.
usually wear the fishnet one, and then I wear one or two stockings.
Yeah, the fishnet one for us has always been enough. So again, it depends on your head. If you're ordering wigs in from anywhere in Asia as well, they're usually quite small sized. So people with larger heads find that they don't stay on very well. Not a problem for me, I have a small head. Woo! But I've heard Arda wigs who are based in the US, so you don't have to pay customs fees. Apparently they do some larger size wig caps, which are good if you find that wigs are too tight and slip off. So yeah, another thing is to make sure wigs themselves do fit.
Also, for wigs, you can go to a beauty shop like Sally's Beauty, and they actually have wig clips that you sew into the netting of the wig, and it snaps, just like a hair snap, but it's got part of it as a comb. So you just sew it into the netting of the wig, you catch some of your hair and snap it. And that's
They're the little
sucker-
snaps you
that
get on
sucker
hair
isn't going anywhere.
extensions. Yeah, if anyone uses hair extensions, they're the exact same hair
There
snap.
is toupee clips. I have a friend that does Rapunzel with the full wig. I think she said the wig is like 10 pounds total. She put 12 toupee clips in and it keeps it on the entire day. Yeah.
Learning!
Yeah, it all depends on the character, because Loki I have to use quite a pale one, but the one I generally use for most things is MAC. I have a MAC foundation that I use because it's a long wear one. So it's,
And it doesn't like cake up or
no, it's yeah.
Jack uses MAC, I use Estee Lauder. Just brand preference on that one. But yeah, as long as it's a long stay one. For foundations, if you want them to stay on all day, don't bother going for cheap stuff, because it might work for a while, but generally speaking, it's not going to last all day. If you go to department stores. Go around, usually they'll give you little sample bottles to take away with you and actually try wearing them all day, and you'll find the one that works for you. But don't go cheap with foundations, it's never a good thing.
I found Dior stays on very well. Like I've tried all the brand range, but the Dior line is quite thick, so you really have to go easy with it. But oh my lord, it stays on forever.
I'd say as well, consider your skin type, because they do foundations
Yeah.
for oily skin, foundations for dry skin, so consider your own skin type before choosing a foundation. So that can really help it stay on as well.
What are the best methods for blending contour instead of like making a giant muddled mess?
Oh, it's exactly what we were going over. The beauty blender. It's the beauty blender or the egg teardrop with the cutout.
On a stick.
The egg on the stick.
The egg on the stick, or more professionally put, the beauty blender. Not the egg on the stick.
I'm egg on a stick. Can you imagine an egg on a stick?
These guys go home and like, I'm sure he said an egg on the stick. Yeah. Throw away. It's not working.
But I remembered. Jack said it would work.
Yeah, there's also a lot to be said for your hands as well, because
Yeah.
brushes and sponges will obviously absorb some of your paint. Fingers don't.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a sponge to hand, just go at it with your hands. Just make sure your hands are clean.
Yeah.
The warmth of your finger helps the blend too.
Yep.
I have ordered a few wigs, but every single time that I order one that's long and I try to brush it out, it turns into a fuzzy mess. What do I do to avoid that? I have destroyed one too many wigs.
Do it gently and slowly. And then when you're done with it, you plait it, you put it back in the net it came in and back in the bag. Just take your time with it.
We found that the best wigs for trying to stop them tangling are ones that are advertised as being heat resistant. I'm not sure what it is about the fibres because I'm not a wig scientist, but something about the fibres they
You're
just
not?
seem, I'm not a wig scientist, I'm sorry. But something about the fibres, they're just easier to brush out and they don't seem to frizz quite as well. Human hair wigs are the best ones to stop tangling and things. The one thing that I will point out is everyone, when they wear a long wig, always finds that the bit at the very back and the nape of your neck will always go really matted and horrible. And the first thing, yeah, like that. And the first thing people try to do is they see that and think, oh, that looks horrible, I'm going to brush it out. Don't try to brush that out. For one, you'll destroy the wig fibres, and two, that piece of matting there protects the rest of your wig from getting matted as well. So just keep the matted part. When you're brushing wigs out, use a very wide comb. Yeah, there you go. There's one there. Hold it up high. That's the sort of comb you should be using to brush out a wig, because the teeth are so wide that they're not going to shred the wig fibre, because wigs are plastic.
Explains a lot.
Yeah.
Also, never use a brush that has like the little beads at the end.
Yeah. The ones with beads on that you'd usually brush your hair with to stop them scratching, don't use those either. And generally don't use ones that are used on hair. The smallest sort of comb you could use is possibly an afro pick. That's probably as close as you really want the teeth of the comb to be. And then you start at the very bottom and work your way up the wig. And then you're not dragging knots all the way down, you're breaking them piece by piece. And then if you still find that's not working, you can wash them as well. Don't wash them in hot water because you're essentially putting plastic in heat. That doesn't work. People sell like 1,000,001 different wig sprays, wig conditioners, all this crap. People try to overcharge for wig cleaning. Use fabric conditioner.
Yeah, that does about the same fabric softener.
You're essentially wearing nylon-y sort of fabric on your head, strands of it. Fabric conditioner in lukewarm water, put the wig in, you can swish it around a bit if you want, otherwise just leave it to soak. Rinse it out with cold water, leave it to dry, do not blow dryer it, please.
Do not brush it while it is wet.
And don't brush it while it's wet because you stretch the fibres and then when they dry, they frizz up smaller. So yeah.
That's what I had to do with Cecil because he was a mess. And my God, and not only does it look good now, he smells like strawberries and fabulousness. Everyone going, oh, you smell so good. I was like, yeah, it's just me, it's not the wig.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's course too, so I don't know if you want to. But
Yeah, I'll do a bit of face painting stuff, right. Cool.
I'm going to go wash my hands.
Okay, yeah, we're going to jump into this because otherwise it's not going to be done. So, face painting and body painting and special effects makeup. It's a really big topic and I've got about 15 minutes to do it, so I apologise, this is going to be a really condensed version.